recording and put our PowerPoint up. So I'll be turned to the computer for a while, so you can just check in, and I'll be posting this on YouTube as well. Okay, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Kaufman, the CEO of Growth and Leadership Center, and we have an upcoming webinar. My colleague Ron Steck and I are going to talk about new directions for developing human capital and the trends for 2015. And what we find is that here in Silicon Valley, it's getting a little bit harder to get around, and part of that is due to traffic, and that traffic is really indicative of a shift in what's occurred in 2015, really back to probably mid-2014, where the technology companies here in the Valley and really worldwide are increasingly needing to add talent to their working pool. And so when we talk about developing people in organizations, one of the hardest things is building people up from hiring them in and bringing them up all the way to leadership positions and ultimately into senior management positions. And oftentimes companies are faced with either go outside or develop inside. But develop inside is a long-term commitment and takes quite a while to do. And so oftentimes companies find themselves short of talent. And one of the key trends that is facing the world today is this flexible work arrangement. So that's a trend, a key trend that's been developing over time here. But a lot of telecommuting, a lot of working from home, job sharing, different types of time and work scheduling and shift arrangement, and essentially adding flexibility to the workforce. But what does that do for management in terms of how to deal with a workforce that is increasingly utilizing flexible work arrangements? So we'll talk about that in the webinar. The other thing that we're going to delve into are several, three actually key studies that have been done recently, one by PricewaterhouseCoopers, another by the Bureau of Labor Standards, and as well as a Deloitte study. Now, this study that I'm showing on the PowerPoint here talks about the talent gap. CEOs worldwide, over 92% of them now see the workforce or the human capital workforce that they have to draw on to be worldwide. And that is a significant move probably over the past 5 or 10 years that has been increasingly going up. And one of the things we see in 2015 is that there is an urgency now. Over 80% are expecting to hire worldwide. So that means places like India and China, Argentina and South America, Mexico are becoming hotbeds of needing higher level skills, also for U.S. companies that are looking for talent worldwide. The next study is really on this chart from the Bureau of Labor Standards, and STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and math, job prospects up to and through 2020. And you can see here that computer science and computing jobs are a huge trend. And we're seeing a lot of different adjustments to that, not only going after international workforces, but also vocational schools and boot camps popping up for coders that are stemming some of this need. And really, there is going to be a gap in general across the board in the STEM jobs. And so the trends are pretty substantial, and it's pretty clear that there will not be enough college grads out of U.S. schools to actually fill the job gap. That's The next study done by Deloitte with over 3,000 businesses and HR leaders in 106 countries looks at some of the gaps that are being seen. In this chart, the top three here, culture and engagement, leadership, and learning and development, are really pointed out as the key areas, top priorities for 2015. And what we anticipate, of course, is HR, human resources people having to adjust to this, which will mean significantly more development of talent internally, because recruitment externally has become very costly and difficult to actually find people to fill the gap. So we'll talk about that and maybe also some of the engagement of the workforces, some of the trends and some of the tips and tricks, if you will, that some of our clients are using to make sure that their workforces are happy and secure. So with that, this is just a short preview of what we'll be covering in a half-hour high-paced webinar, and so I hope you can join Ron's